Hey, everybody, it's time to have another weekend. Our first week of February has come, and we are going to give you all the news that you need to know from the week, including Thursdays and Fridays news wires. Welcome to Weekended. Now, time to play our beautiful intro to the show, which for some reason, there it is. All right, and away we go. Welcome to the COMiX News Wire, where we get our news from the COMiX newsroom found at comicbookadvocates.com. Fridays just got more anchored as C. Michael Lanning takes over to be the head anchor on Weekended. He will be joined by Meredith Logren. Together, they will bring you all the news you need to know from the week. This is Weekended. They give you the COMiX news coming off the wire. This show is brought to you in association with
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment and more.
comicbookadvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that. And you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like comicbookadvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating, because we love comics. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to let the hosts introduce themselves, and then we'll get into some news. So, oops, I'm in the wrong place. There we go. Take us away.
All right, morning, comics fans. I'm C. Michael Lanning, coming to you on Friday, like every Friday for the past few months. I'm an independent artist who's done penciling work for the Rejects coming from Silverline Comics in a couple of months. This upcoming Terraform Compendium thing coming. And hopefully some other projects coming up, so look for that. And how are we doing this morning? To my co-anchor, the unstoppable Meredith Logren.
Well, good morning. I am Meredith Logren, the associate editor over at Geek Insider, as well as the executive producer of the Geek Insider podcast. I just finished up a Kickstarter for the Compendium of Dread, an anthology of dark fiction, which I am set, hopefully, fingers crossed, that nothing goes wrong, to deliver in March, end of March. And
Right.
And rolling right into the Kickstarter for Terraform, the Continuum. So if you guys are paying attention, make sure that you head over to Kickstarter, look up Terraform Comics, and hit the notify me on launch button. All right, Mr. Announcer Voice.
Yes.
What have we got going on today?
We have a lot of good news to get to, a lot of creative stuff. This is our first episode of the year. Let's see. We don't have cool videos, but I did want to mention for those using StreamYard, there's a new feature that allows you to stream videos directly into your StreamYard. That's pretty cool. It'll be able to allow you to play longer videos. It streams from your actual hard drive, so you don't have to upload it. There's something to keep in mind. Also, just some beginning notice. Tonight we go back live again for the Freaky Friday, the one before Valentine's Day. So that ought to be an interesting one. I don't know if anyone actually wanted to sign up and be part of it. We're going to talk about the ins and outs of actually writing about sexuality versus selling sex in written form. So that'll be an interesting conversation tonight. It's definitely something that a lot of people talk about. So we're going to get into that. That'll be at 9 p.m. tonight, and we'll see you then. But for now, let's talk about the headlines of the week and the days themselves. We'll be back to our newsroom to talk about everything for the week ended. But first, we're going to stop over into our Thursday newsroom and head over to Friday right after that. So, Meredith, And C, you ready?
Yep.
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
Okay, Eclipse enters the continuum and opens a creative portal to a universe unknown to you till now. Enter the continuum again. Smash that notify me on launch button over at Kickstarter, and you are going to find out more about Eclipse and a few other stories that are going to be in this book. I'm really excited about it. I don't know how much I can tell. I mean, we've already announced a couple of stories. There are a few more announcements to come.
All right. Looking forward to that. And that drops on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Oh, I don't know if I should talk about the other thing that I'm doing on Valentine's Day. Rob, can I take a minute?
Sure.
All right. So we did announce Reapers was going to be in the continuum, and Nita and I are we're doing Reapers for Reapers, and yeah, so we're a little bit on the crazy side, but I've got these Carolina Reapers, and she's got hers, and we're planning on doing one for the launch. So you guys better hit that notify me button and then tune in to see our crazy.
Oh no.
The things I do for you guys.
Telling you.
All right, moving on to the next thing.
All right. Marvel's Behind the Mask tells origin story of comic book artists exploring identity. Marvel's Behind the Mask tells origin story of comics exploring identity. You can check that out on Remzel. That's a new one to me. REMEZCLA.com. It also features a gay Latino comic book artist, Ivan Velez, who says being a gay youth, comics were a great place to hide. So if you're interested in that, take a look for that. I think it's coming to Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I read this morning.
You
And
are.
of course, we're gonna.
There's the actual trailer.
Are we gonna watch it? Or
I don't think copyright would allow us, even though we're promoting something. As stupid as this sounds, now playing trailers can get you in trouble. I have no idea how that started. What genius lawyer decided it was a good idea to stop people from playing trailers? But it's the world we now live in, so no, but you should check it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I wonder if that goes under fair use, though, because maybe if we didn't play the entire thing, that would be different.
Not according to YouTube and their lawyers.
Ah, okay. I see how it is now. Only death can save us. Speaking of which, dun, 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 I just opened up my package and I'm so happy.
Tell me, did you have to have a knife to open that package?
I did. Oh my gosh.
I could not find the seal. He packaged that thing so well.
I have no idea. I was just like, how do I open this box? It shouldn't be that difficult, right? But no, only death can save us. A Bronze Age inspired cosmic fantasy romp. I've got my copy. It came from England, and it's got a whole bunch of other goodies. I've got a magnet here.
This right here. I'm telling you that I love that. I think I might like that more than the book.
Shh, don't tell Russ.
No, the book's good. That's
and then we've got a sticker. I mean, I've got these cards here. I mean, so this package was amazing. I am so happy with this, and of course the book itself and a lovely print here. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that is. Look at Death.
Yeah. Behind
there, creeping behind her.
I gave mine to Nita, so you might see that on her stream.
So really happy about that. Indiegogo, it is on demand at this point in time. Make sure that you go over there and get your copy. It's amazing. The packaging, the book itself, the art. It's a throwback to when I was a kid, and I remember this style. So it's like all of the goodies in one package.
And what's interesting about this book is it has that newsprint look to it, and I'm not quite sure what kind of pages those actually are, but I like the feel of the pages.
I almost don't want to crack the spine. That's how happy I am to have this book, and I think I might have to get another one just so that I can keep one to read and then keep one unblemished.
So now, Meredith, what if someone wanted to actually test drive this story? Is there a way that they could get a preview?
Well, are we going to introduce that today?
Actually, it's been introduced, and it's kind of why I'm passing it to you.
Oh, okay. Well, Russ Leach has agreed to put 8 pages of Only Death Can Save Us for that test drive in the Continuum. So, again, that's why you want to head over there. We've got Eclipse, we've got Reapers, we've got Only Death Can Save Us now. Did we announce anything else? I think I'm missing something.
You're missing 2 stories. I've hinted towards one on You're Not Alone, but on Sunday we will have a big reveal as to who's also joining us this Sunday during the brunch. The brunch is going to be a little different when we're going into the Kickstarter. We're going to try to bring on the people from the Continuum and talk about the Continuum and the creativity because it goes along with Terraform. We're not going to hijack the show, but you'll see a lot more guests. This Sunday, though, we do plan to announce the 4th story, and then because we're launching a week from Sunday during the brunch, so we're announcing Sunday and then Monday the last story. So by Monday you'll know every story, and of course Monday has that brand new show that's in its pilot season. It's Mondays in to know, and you guys are going to get the exclusive information about what the final story is. And by the time you see everything that came together, I think you're going to be happy as a fan. I think this is going to be a project you're going to like. Only Death Can Save Us, 8 pages. If you like what you see, there's a whole graphic novel already made. The amazing thing about this team up is that Russ isn't in America, as stated before with the overseas shipping. We are going to be able to take 8 pages of Russ' story with us throughout the United States as Terraform travels and promotes creators through the Continuum. We'll see where that relationship leads. Maybe one day we'll actually be able to carry the entire set. We'll see. But for now, it all starts with 8 pages in the Continuum.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I don't want to crack the spine either. So, and that is a comic book black belt. If you guys want to follow him and see what he's up to.
And we've got a list here of some upcoming Kickstarters or Indiegogos. We've got Door Kickers 2 coming to Indiegogo, Tome of Reckoning, Star Circuit, Glen and Munsterland, Worth the Wizard, and The Adventures of Tayless.
I do want to give a shout out to Tom. I have never seen anyone do this for Indiegogo. Kickstarter gets this treatment constantly. I'm also sad to say that as of today, I believe we're going to take a vote for it on the award show, which are going on right now that you can find on Facebook. It's all through Facebook. Join the group. You can vote for anything you want. It's the Independent Creator Awards. And also the C is now double meaning Independent Comics Award as well. We're going to have to cancel we're going to give an award for the best crowdfunding show. And I threw Backer Paws up there expecting to see Backer Paws have some competition, see who else does a show about crowdfunding. Turns out no one does. Besides Backer Paws. And when Backer Paws first came out, a few shows tried to copy us. It turns out they're all gone.
Well, there are a few shows that bring in guests who have Kickstarters, but it's not dedicated to crowdfunding, and I don't know if that was the differentiating factor.
Well, I mean, bringing on a guest and then talking about other things with guests, that's an interview show, right? That's a segment show. Because sometimes they won't have anything to do with crowdfunding. Sometimes they just sit around and do nothing. That's not a crowdfunding show. When people turn into Backer Paws, they know they're going to see something that they can actually back on a platform like Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Is it called backing it on Indiegogo still? I actually never asked that question until right now. Do they that's a backer still, right?
I don't think so, because I'm backing something I'm pledging towards and supporting.
Well, I meant their official term. Backer actually Kickstarter. They made it, and I'm doing air quotes. You just can't see me. They made it backers. So I think it's still a backer. You're still a backer, but it's so sad that those shows never took off. When Backer Paws came out, I always expected it to be copied, which it was right outside the gate. It was copied for a few years. but it seems like everyone gave up on it. And I don't know if it's just the fact that no one could make it work right because they took too much time talking about the different crowdfunding campaigns. So we have a pretty fast pace on backer pause.
Maybe you're a perker since you select perks.
I like that, perker. Reminds me of boot.
Well, you know, the thing is also, Rob, you know, taking that category off, you know, we didn't want it to have the optics that this was self-serving. It wasn't. It was supposed to be, you know, people nominating their shows, whether it was, you know, nominating your own show or you knew of another show that did it, and nobody submitted one.
And how sad is that with all the shows that are out there? No one takes the time to do something different. They're all copying each other's formats. Like I look at shows and you see the same show with just different hosts. I'm mortified by that fact. Like we're the only ones doing news the way we're doing besides CBR. CBR, Comic Book Resources, credit to them. They do a show. They just don't cover the indie part, which is problematic for us. Of course, we want to cover the indie part. So shout out to them. No one's done the news. I've seen a couple try, and it's weird. It's like they're copying each other, but no one's stepping out and doing original stuff. And it was kind of heartbreaking, to be honest with you both, that there hadn't been another crowdfunding show. Even and Catherine Cautamale does do a Kickstarter where she talks about Kickstarters very quickly, but it turns out she hasn't done a video for it in a while. And I don't know, Comic Uno, I don't know. She's making lists now, but she's not doing the videos. I don't know if it's a viewership thing. I'll be honest with everyone. I never care about the numbers of a viewership on a show. I do these shows for the one person who needs it that day. And I know it's working. Everyone who comes up backer pause, and C's been with me on, you have been with Meredith. You know, behind the scenes, they're so thankful. They learn so much. We have people who back, like everyone who goes on the show sees, especially if they're a guest judge, they see an instant change. People share it. Trajectories have been changed. We've seen people fund. We had someone raise $2,000 just being on our show because of the art project. So if anyone's listening and you want to do a crowdfunding show, I don't care if you steal the whole backer pause thing. Someone had mentioned to me that they want to do something similar to what I do. I said, do yours in a vision and do it better than I do it, because this celebrates creators. I'm never going to turn around. I'm going to smile. And I'm going to be like, look, that was something I created. I don't care if I get the credit. I care that it helps creators. So, Tom, here's looking at you, dude. You're awesome. Thank you for doing this.
And, of course, you're interested in seeing any of those links, you check out Comic Related Madness or right here on Comics Newswire, because he does have links to all those Indiegogo's. We're not just hearing about them.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of boobs.
Perkers. Hey.
That's going to be a thing now.
Oh, yeah. Remember where it started. Speaking of perkers, Meredith, you got this one?
Oh, okay, because I have them. So Comic Book Preview says Sonya Versal #1. Dynamite Entertainment launches its Red Sonja event series, Sonya Versal, this Wednesday, and we've got your early sneak peek. Head over to flickeringmyth.com to find out more.
Now, this is how stupid I am. I assumed that there was only one type of Sonya, and that was a red Sonya. But if I come to find out there's a blue Sonya, a green Sonya, a whole color spectrum of Sonyas out there.
I've only heard of the red one.
Yeah, and what's interesting is this is who she has to kill. So you want to check that out especially. But yeah, there's blue Sonya, green Sonya, vermilion Sonya.
Are their hairs? Do their hairs change color?
I think they do, actually. I think that's the whole basis for it.
The first thing I hear when you say that is the Batman, when they did the Rainbow Batman, where you have every color and you just can't unsee it. I'm sorry. It's just
tread carefully. Tread very, very carefully. Okay, what do we got? Coming in Previews World from Richard Rivera lets us know about another Scoot imprint called The Adventures of Byron. You want to check that out. Keep an eye open for it. Do we have a previews number for it? It is in previewsworld.com. Ah, here we go. Preview number FEB 211501.
And we just want to take a quick minute while we have this opportunity, because we had some comments. I want to wish Mike a speedy recovery. Mike James is undergone a procedure. He is, last I heard, doing well, but send your well wishes for a fast recovery to him and Trish. You know, any circumstance like this is always difficult for a family. Show him support. Go by. Just check on him.
You said Mike Sealy. It was Mike Bengston.
No, I said Mike James.
Mike James?
Yeah, it's his middle name. I don't say his last name.
Oh, why?
Because I can't, with the dyslexia, I trip on my tongue trying to say, they're just, sir, I'll get it eventually. I'm
Regardless,
practicing.
okay, Mike and Trish, we wish you well. Sorry.
I've told
like,
him I won't say it till I get it right. And I am practicing behind the scenes, believe it or not. Some words I literally spend weeks practicing. Like the guy who's on Sherlock in the BBC, his last name, who plays Doctor Strange, I can't say it right. My dyslexia, it's one of those names.
Cumberbatch?
Yeah, I do it wrong. I make it sound dirty.
Don't feel bad. There's a whole bunch of people out there that do.
I wind up making it sound.
I always want to call him Basil instead of Benedict because old Basil Rathbone that did you have to have a weird name to play Sherlock Holmes unless you're Robert Downey Jr. apparently. But Basil Rathbone used to play Sherlock Holmes years and years ago. And then with Benedict Cumberbatch, I keep wanting to call him Basil Cumberbone or something like that. So don't feel bad about that. He's got a weird name. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of things that aren't so bad, The View here. Meredith, you want to do this since you too?
Do I get the perkers today? Okay. Comic book preview, Vengeance of Vampirella, number 14, is out tomorrow. Actually, I think it's out now because this was announced February 3rd. And you can get yourself an early look at the issue right here in the official preview. Check it out at flickeringmyth.com. I don't know. Did they have like a previews? Is that like the previews world where they have that code?
No, but it does. It has a like the
Different
preview of
preview.
the series. Yeah.
This is like a literal preview. Like you click the link, you see the first 4 pages.
Yeah.
The thing about Vampirella, you should be able to go in a comic book shop and say, "I want the Vampirella." They should be able to find that for you.
They would know. Yeah.
And if they don't, I have questions.
Although in all fairness, these books are in previews. Seriously, you can go to previews and find them too 3 months ahead. So if you want to get the 3 months from now cover of a cosplayer, because apparently that's all they're doing now because that's their preview images, check it out now.
Remember when you could only find that in Wizard Magazine?
Yeah.
All right. The comic was a long time coming. This is from Adam Stewart. This comic was a long time coming, and I honestly cannot wait to begin the colors from the next comic after this. Coming to Kickstarter. Now, if you don't know, Nightwave Origin is the first of many world-building comics to come. Stories that will bring into light unique adventures, new present-day characters, and various mythologies, beginning with the African mythos. Get ready, Shango fans. The story begins with a young girl who was born under a bleeding moon. That's right, a bleeding moon. The omens and folklore that surrounded such events meant that she would live a life of solitude. However, as she got older, the reason behind her birth became more apparent than the uniquely red eyes she possessed. She would then understand the meaning behind her birth, held the key to the destruction of rebirth of the world. Well, don't just stand there. Smash that notify button. And that's Nightwave Origin on Kickstarter.com. So look for that. And, of course, you can also look at a few promo pages there on Comics Newswire.
I love that bleeding moon thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, comic book preview, Marvel Action Origins, number 1. IDW Publishing delves into some of the most iconic moments in Marvel history this week with the launch of its new Marvel Action Origins. Head over to flickeringmyth.com to find out more.
Also, read that again. You missed the bigger story.
I'm looking at the cover here, and it's
Start with IDW.
Yeah, I noticed
IDW Publishing.
Marvel Comics. So this crossover we talked about a few months ago coming to fruition.
So are we looking at them out licensing?
It's begun.
Yeah,
it has begun.
But we thought that DC was going to do this.
I thought that, honestly. That was what everyone said AT&T was going to do. I said I don't see AT&T won't buy a company like an entertainment company and then start selling things off instantly. You make more to keep it in-house. AT&T had all the ways to get things, and look what they're doing now. Comics are in a rebound like we haven't seen. There's real excitement. We're going to talk about that today on the show. It's amazing this is happening over at Marvel because what they're giving is they're giving classic tales. They're giving them past stories, but allowing them to redraw them, which I found fascinating. So they get to have their own take on it, which is interesting.
Now, I know sometimes you'll have like younger stuff that will have a Marvel character, but they'll put it out under IDW or what have you. Is IDW a subsidiary of Marvel, or is it its own company?
It's its own company for now. We'll see. It's Disney. Disney's got deep pockets. If it starts becoming a hit, Disney will just buy IDW and then make it a different brand and blah, 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 blah. Okay. But IDW is famous for licensing. That's their bread and butter. They don't do a lot of original stuff. They've definitely switched to being more of a licensing company. Not how they started. They did used to have a lot more original run stuff. Just Image and all the other ones kind of took that from them, so they found a way to survive. So, hey, evolve or die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is from Fabio Samao, Chameleon Studios Preview number 0 Original Pages Showcase. There's a video here that you can watch. Here we go. Hey, folks. Sharing here with you all some of the original pages and covers for Chameleon Studios Preview number 0, which is right now live on Kickstarter. The link is in his bio, so make sure that you head over there. They are currently at 56% funded, and your help will be very welcome. If you cannot back it, no problem at all. Just give us a like and share and tell your friends and comic fans. You will be helping us a lot. And that is so important for anybody who loves comics and independent creators. Make sure you head over there. If you can't support it or even throw $1 at it, make sure that you hit the share button. Moving forward here, this is a dream becoming true. Hold on a second. For my good friend Dakota Goodell and all the fellows from the work team, this is the beginning of an epic saga. Thank you. Stay safe. Keep rocking. And he says that he apologizes for the bad and rusty English. It's hard for him to talk in real time fluently, but he's learning. Fabio Samao, good luck on your Kickstarter.
That's all right. He's got to keep rocking. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good English.
Good enough. We get it.
We get it. All right. So coming from Ruben Romero, The Illusion Witch is a high dark fantasy that takes place in a parallel world. It's a fish out of water adventure about dealing with cruel evil while facing your own demons. Think Life of Pi meets Lord of the Rings. When a famous illusionist must save a world that is not her own, she must face her past to save the future. The link is in the comments over here on COMiX Newswire. A cruel evil, not just evil, not just the everyday evil, like stealing somebody's parking space kind of evil. We're talking about cruel evil.
I love that artwork too. I mean, there's something about black and white art and just the dark. It's right up my alley. Okay, early Iron Man comics are weird, or are they? This is from BookRiot.com. Like so many other superheroes, Iron Man went through a phase. Let's take a look at some of the weirdest aspects of early Iron Man comics. And that is some interesting stuff. Head over to BookRiot.com.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is an important thing for new creators who think, and Meredith's been in a room where I argue these points. This is just this week's trend. Next week, there'll be a new trend. Next week, people will decide things. We are now starting a new decade. What we're starting with, I guarantee you, write it down, we will not end with. There will be changes in the industry that are constant. We see at the beginning of every decade, and at the end, things have changed from lettering to the way word balloons are done, to colors that are used, to formats. This is an interesting way for you as a creator to actually look at that, because they do it by decades. You can kind of see how these stories and influences, even pop culture's influence across the pages of comics. I think creators, because you get this new breed of creator who think that they read a book on how to make comics and they come out like they know everything about comics, but they didn't bother reading a history book, and they didn't realize that the year the book was published was the rules for those couple years around it. Some things always stay the same, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot that changes, including font styles. That's one of the biggest ones. It goes back and forth throughout the years. Another one that I've seen change a lot has been the way the covers are done. And you'll see covers change with decades. They really do. Go back and look at covers and you'll be amazed. They had a kind of unique, not unique, but almost a how would you put it, a time period look to them per decade. And everyone kind of copies each other in comics, just a little bit. So if you want to be out there and original, God bless you, but at least know that you're probably going to run against the grain of creators who will tell you everything you're doing is wrong. Prove you can do it right the first time and then do whatever you want the next time. What are you going to say, Steve?
Yeah, well, you're talking about copycat and everything. And what's funny about this article, what I was going to say, is do you realize that Iron Man had a villain named Doctor Strange? Mm-hmm. That's right, just the same as the Benedict Cumberbatch guy that we were talking about earlier. But the interesting thing is that comic book was being made the same time that the first Doctor Strange comic book came out. So you just kind of see that flow and that same train of thought coming out. So they were probably produced at the same time, although we never did get to see this Doctor Strange come back again. So perhaps that's what kind of added to the animosity and Infinity War between Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Just wait till the multiverse comes out. You'll see both of them. Go ahead, Mary.
And I was going to say, it seems a lot like fashion. Through the decades, you're going to see things that come back, maybe a little slight alteration, a deviation from it, but it's kind of a throwback. And then, for the independent creators who are out there, if you're kind of doing your own thing and it's a throwback to another era, guess what? Eventually it's going to be cool again. So keep at it.
Yep. And that's a great point, by the way, Sue, that you did make about that, because there's a story behind that, and I suggest everyone go read the history of it. Mm-hmm. Let's put it this way. That's what happens when editorial staff isn't combined to be one editorial staff, and you have different editors not talking to people, and all the things that Marvel went through during that time period. The history of comics is amazing, and it amazes me how few people know it with the way that they talk out loud. You can tell they have no clue. You should always know the history of the thing you are part of if you're a creator. If you're a fan, just go out there and buy what you like. If you're a creator, know the history.
It helps, that's for sure. The latest page of Stalker by B. Navarro is available at Gateway COMiX. Over 240 pages now available to binge. So if you haven't started reading, now's a good time to start. Check it out at gatewaycomicpresents.com. 240 pages. That's a weekend right there, isn't it?
I would think so, at least. And here we go from comicbook.com. Marvel announces Fantastic Four Life Story will reimagine the adventures of Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm as they occurred in real time from the first family's debut in 1961, setting their lives against real historical events. Head over to comicbook.com to find out more.
And perhaps maybe we could give Reed Richards a new power. I'm just saying.
Like a reboot?
Yeah, maybe not so stretchy.
Actually, that's coming. With Heroes Reborn, he's being reimagined.
Oh,
interesting.
I still hate to hear that.
If you wish, don't complain about what you ask for. What is it? Be careful what you ask for.
That's okay. Y'all can do whatever you want to the Fantastic Four. I could care less. I have respect for him as the first superhero family, but other than that, I could care less.
I was there on the day that C. Michael was canceled. I remember talking badly about Fantastic Four. No one knew. No one knew it was coming.
I just said I didn't care. That's all I said. What everybody does, it's none of my business.
He got away with the Mandalorian just barely. And then he shut it down.
By the skin of his teeth, right?
Hey, I haven't talked about WandaVision.
There is that. That might be coming. Shh.
No, it really isn't. Not after what I saw today. Not at all. But that's for another time. We got to wait a few weeks for that discussion. But go ahead.
All right. So I am loving the artwork on this. It feels very kind of 80-ish, 80s. So Super Earth Comics Group, Vixen, the newest edition of the Super Earth Adventures lineup, all artwork by the fantastic P.R. Dedelis. Kind of looks like 80s rock, right?
I thought 90s, to be honest with you. That's why I actually went.
I don't know. I'm thinking like big hairband, but I see a little grunge. I can see where you're saying that.
And
Yeah.
it's the colors too in the hair. That was
Mhm.
very 90s. The collar around her neck, that was big in the 90s. The leather jacket was 80s, 90s.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say she looks
like
truly
the pants, and
outrageous.
I'm seeing the pants, and I'm seeing the jacket, and yeah, I can see a little bit of both.
Yes,
Probably
definitely
right in the
outrageous.
crossover, like when the 80s turned to the 90s and you had that fashion influence.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. So that's Vixen.
Ah, the Greatest Mouse Adventure going today is back on Kickstarter. He's facing down sorcerers, Clazions, and Grogs. That's the Oswald Chronicles we were just passing through is now available from JD Calderon over on Kickstarter.com. So go check that out. And that's another one I'm excited to get into the mail pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. I got mine from his last, I think it was his Indiegogo. So I think it was like 1 through 8. But here we go. Marvel gives Spider-Man, Ms. Marvel, and Nova new origins in Heroes Reborn. I can't keep up with all of the Reborn, Rebirths, Reboots, and all that stuff.
Wait, what were we just retelling it on IDW a second ago?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Rob is right. It changes before you even get to the end of the page now.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. If you're just coming into comic books and you want to find the origin story, you're like, which one do I pick? Okay. I mean, seriously, I don't know. But comicbook.com, that's where you can find out about this.
Well, in fairness to Marvel, Reborn was huge. Heroes Reborn was huge. It actually starts Miles Morales. It starts. There weren't a lot of characters that survived it, to be honest. It did not survive as a whole. Miles, I think, is a huge one from it. I think Miss Marvel somehow comes from it. There were other characters like Squirrel Girl that just never survived. But it came from that vein of creativity. And Squirrel Girl's still around. I'm just saying the popularity didn't survive. This is an exciting moment to look at characters in a different way. But to your point about new readers, this is done for new readers, actually. So new readers come in with this new beginning, and they go, okay, I can know it from beginning. And if they like it, they can go back and read back issues and learn more about the character. I think it's a good thing to reinvent characters every so often if there's a reason. I don't like the every year episodes, but Reborn was bigger and it actually had lasting effects. That's why I liked Reborn the first time. That storyline affected storylines for over a decade. I don't like that they're using Reborn apparently to start the Clone Saga again. That does make me nervous with Miles Morales. So now they're going to try something that did not work with him. I'll say that because I think Reborn is the reason they're going to be doing some of that. But I'm excited for what Marvel's doing. I'll be honest. I'm interested.
For me personally, I love the Genesis story. I mean, I do that with my shows. I try to get, when I'm talking to the creators and stuff, I want to get their Genesis story. Where did this story start? And then so trying to go back in time and finding the origins, like the real, like this is the first print type of thing. I know it's out of a lot of people's budgets these days with a lot of these characters, but still, it's one of those things where it's so expansive across so many decades in a lot of cases that it's really hard. And so, like trying to pop in, I can see your point with that with the Reborn. I'm sure it's a good thing. I just love going back to the beginning.
But like you said, there is no going back. None of us were there for the beginning. The first Spider-Man, none of us were really around for in 63 when he first hit. None of us were really, I mean, think about it, 1963, if you were 20, that was 60 years ago, you're 80. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that generation, we didn't grow up with these original characters anymore. Batman was never mine, but the characters I'm creating are mine. Some of the Image characters are brand new. We've seen characters created. This is comics now, and comics has evolved. We're getting on to be 100-year. Well, technically, comics are over 100 years, but as what we know comic books to be, we're heading to a 100-year mark now, and it's exciting. By the end of this decade, you'll hear comics as we know them now, the way that they're distributed in comic book format. Because originally they were comic strips. It'll be 100 years. Just in this decade. I want to say 28 will be the year because that was Eisner. Eisner started in like 19, but I think the comic book format itself was either 1928 or 23. I'd have to look it up.
Are you looking at comic strip or comic book?
Yeah, when they started making it a sequential comic book and it stopped being a comic strip.
I think that actually began with Action Comics, huh?
I would have to look it up. That's actually an interesting topic
because
to dive into one day.
We talked about those letters.
Yeah,
sometime back about with Schuster and I can't remember Mayworth. I can't remember his name now, but that was one of the deals was that he had taken those Superman strips and was able to piece it together as a sequential art to sell like a magazine like that.
So Wikipedia says it was Famous Funnies, which was the first modern comic, 1933. That was sequential art, Famous Funnies. That's Wikipedia, so grain of salt. The comicbook.com, this one's actually interesting because it goes all the way back to 1887. Here, I'll actually show you guys since we don't have a lot of news this week, so we can actually take a side trip real quick here. So, because this is an interesting part. Look at how comics started. For those who don't know the history of comics, you have to understand how far back it really goes. This is why when people talk about storyboarding, that didn't start till the 1940s. No, 40s with Disney, I think. Yeah, I think it was the 40s or 50s with Disney. Is such an insult. Comic books inspired storyboards. Comics are not storyboards. That would be like saying your child is your creator, and unless you're Miss Marvel or what's her name now, Captain Marvel, some people will get this reference. That doesn't make sense. So you'd have to know the history of the character to know why that makes sense. But here it is, Sunday Funnies. There's Mickey Mouse in 1931. See, it's right around here. See, Wikipedia's got it wrong. 1929, the Funnies book came out. I knew they were wrong. In 1920.
I don't trust Wikipedia.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
I never trust
Wikipedia, so let's go somewhere.
I get crap for it, but I never trust Wikipedia.
No, because I used to always change Wikipedia.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And so here we are in 1920, in 1922, because I'm never going to get it out right. 22, there we go. The first monthly comic book came out. It was cover dated January. It was 20 cents. So guys, we are less than a year away from 100 years from the first monthly comic book. And that was called, let's see, title was COMiX Monthly, and it lasted 12 issues. Each was devoted to a popular comic strip, but the comic strip expanded slowly beyond that to a different format, it looks like over here. And by Little Orphan Annie and all that, by 1929, they were publishing took a crack at regular comic books. So this is all during the Eisner era and all that stuff. Oh, man, I'm telling you, there's so much excitement and stuff. You can't know it all with the history because some of this stuff has just been forgotten and let go with time. I mean, I bet you all don't know that Eisner actually was the beginning of a lot of like Jack Kirby worked with Will Eisner. A lot of people don't even know that. Jack Kirby started with Eisner working together. So, I mean, there's so much history you guys don't know. But yeah, 100 years. I told you it was coming. Because I actually read the history, and I'm just bad with numbers because of the dyslexia. They get swapped in my head, but I knew it was in the 20s. So, all right. Well,
you gotta love Tijuana Bibles right there next to the Mickey Mouse. Not quite sure exactly what Tijuana Bibles is, but I'm not imagining it's Mickey friendly.
Comics has always been a strange place, and I welcome it. That's why when people tell me things don't belong, Meredith, you're asking me to open something that's on our screen. What's up? And I'm passing this to you because you put it in the private chat.
Yeah, no, it's the next story that you have up. There's a more expanded explanation of what it is.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll go here then. I thought the bottom covered it, the one I used, didn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. Does it?
Same thing. I want to make sure we get the right information. Yeah, same thing.
Yes. Okay. All right. I didn't see that at the top because it was shared by somebody else. Yeah,
he's part of it. That's why I picked this one to share. But go ahead and you can take this one away.
Okay, so this is from Joseph A. Michael, and he shared this on Indie Comics Connector. Help us get our third charity book off the ground. What a great cause. 100% of profits go to a major CHD charity, possibly Mended Little Hearts. If you or someone you know are interested, please message me, Jeremiah Stemple or Russell Allen. Thank you. And as we scroll down, we're going to see this is Russell Allen's little boy in the pictures here. All of my artist friends, I'm looking for someone who can donate inks and or colors to a great cause. This first book from Heroes for Causes was about cystic fibrosis and the second about pediatric brain cancer. There's a good chance that they have partnered with a really awesome CHD, congenital heart defect charity organization, and Roderick, my son, may be able to be part of the superhero team in book 3. That being said, the books and any merchandise sold will go towards this charity organization that helps new parents cope with having a baby who needs a heart operation at birth and funds crucial research. With this in mind, we need someone who can donate their time and skills so that all the proceeds can go towards the charity instead of covering art costs. This month is CHD month, and this will help raise awareness to a problem that far outnumbers any other birth defect. Many babies go home and pass away or become really sick, and it's caught just before it's too late. A defect that flies under the radar because heart echoes aren't standard before release. We were lucky Roderick's was caught before birth, or he probably wouldn't be here today. Help make his dream of being a superhero come true and be a real superhero that can make a difference in the world through your time. Thank you. And that is from Russell Allen. CHD, again, congenital heart defect. This is going towards kids with these birth defects, and helping fund an amazing organization. So this is for Roderick. If you're an artist, he's looking for artists, flatters, inkers, and things like that. And truly a donation of your time and skill. Anybody else?
I just wanted you to read the websites.
Okay, yeah. So make sure that you head over to facebook.com, Heroes for Causes. Make sure that you spell out for, F-O-R. And then you can go directly to heroesforcauses.com to find out more.
All right. And all right. This I'm going to take just because this is
Go ahead.
Confirmed. This has not been confirmed. This is rumor right now.
Actually, it's been updated. It's not true.
Oh, DC came out and said it's not true.
It's not true.
Good. Yeah, because
I meant to hit you up about that one and say because I didn't see it when I looked earlier. And I was going to tell you, don't even worry about it.
It was on Friday. Bendis came out and said that the rumors are stupid. But I didn't know. We were going to get to it. And that's why I'm bringing this up now because it's on our Friday news.
Yeah,
we take a lot of time here on this news wire to make sure we're not bringing you too much, speculation.
Yeah,
too much theory. We also don't want to ruin stuff. That's why we don't talk about things that we could be talking about. The week of, we usually wait till the next week when we know it's been spoiled, it's been out in the world. So I hate doing the news some days because it ruins a lot of the surprises. As a fan, I don't like to read about the show. It's like wrestling. I used to watch Wrestle Talk a lot, and I realized they were ruining the product for me. By the time I was watching it, it wasn't as much fun because I knew too much about the how to make it scenario, like the behind the scenes. Like, I don't like behind the scenes. I like the magic. Let me be stupid and let me believe that person flew. I don't need to know how you made it happen.
I am the total opposite. I want to see everything. I'm like, how did you do that?
Not unless I have to make it. I don't care.
All right. Shredding through the multiverse.
Yeah. Sorry.
Shredding through the multiverse in our upcoming graphic novel. Can you come down a little bit for me? Tales to Enlighten. Art by James Edward Clark. To join our cult, sign up for our e-newsletter at tinyletter.com/megatrip. Tales to Enlighten Volume 1 coming soon. Satan's grandson and a reluctant killer robot murder their way across the multiverse in an effort to reach enlightenment. Okay, hold on. I want to try that again. Satan's grandson and a reluctant killer robot murder their way across the multiverse in an effort to reach enlightenment. But is enlightenment all they thought it would be? Satan's Sato cult tries to intercept the duo, and Amazon warriors seek revenge. Enter MGA TRP, a cosmic DJ and space god that teaches them a better way of life through peace, love, and universal brotherhood. Tales to enlighten. And I'm not going to do the air horn effect, but there's an air horn effect there. Auga. Ha, there you go.
Auga.
Auga. What the hell did I just read? That is like the most awesome thing I think I've read in a long time. Forget Rosemary's Baby. What about Rosemary's Baby's baby? That's what we want to know about.
Peace, love, and universal brotherhood.
Oh my gosh, that is
We're
awesome.
not mocking you. I think it's awesome.
No, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I feel enlightened just reading that.
I'm having fun, so there you go. It's all about having fun and being
accomplished. Well done.
And okay, so here we go. ComicBookMovie.com says Batman DC Comics reveals a terrifying new design for Scarecrow by artist Jorge Jimenez. We're used to Scarecrow looking a certain way, but DC is about to completely overhaul the iconic villain's appearance with a makeover. What the heck is that about? Head over to ComicBookMovie.com.
Well, all I'll say is womp womp.
You know, and that's the thing about it. Jorge. I'm glad you said that. And let me say why I'm glad you said that. He's one of my favorite artists. I do like his art. I'm not wild about his character designs. Because if I'm not mistaken, he also did the character design for Damien's costume. Oh, he's so much better than that. That's all I can say.
You mean the Salvation Army Robin costume?
I didn't say it.
That was announcer voice. That was announcer voice, and you notice he's not on camera, okay?
I've learned if I'm not on camera, other people get blamed for.
You know what?
They're going to think Meredith did it. Meredith has this demon voice she uses to say the most inappropriate things about boobs. She calls them perkers.
Perkers.
What do you call it? That's a short story for the second.
I'm making a T-shirt. Make sure to check out the news and find out about what's perking next. Be a perker. Everyone likes some good perkers in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be a perker, you could be a backer.
Well, is it chilly, or are you just happy to see me?
Now saying backers after perkers really sounds perverted. Anyway, our brand new comic Nine Tails has more than 100. Oh gosh. Our brand new comic Nine Tails has more than. Our brand new comic Nine Tails has more than 100 backers on Kickstarter. It's still running. So more than 100 people have already backed us on Kickstarter. We prepared some awesome stretch goals, so don't wait and claim your copy. That's on Kickstarter. Nine Tails, the Chronicles of the, and I can't see what the last part of it, but you should be able to go on Kickstarter and find Nine Tails. And that's from Reboot Comics.
This is from comicbook.com. The Suicide Squad official synopsis is revealed. The most devious villains in the DC universe are teaming up once again. Find out more at comicbook.com.
And I was so tempted to read this, but I said no. I'm going to wait because I know I already want to see it. I don't need a synopsis. I want to be surprised. There's so many times that a preview or a synopsis has ruined things for me. A lot of people say that Terminator 2 was ruined for a lot of people because of the trailer revealing Arnold Schwarzenegger not being the bad character. And I'm sorry if you haven't seen Terminator 2. What is wrong with you? But
I think said that some time has passed since that, so I think we're safe.
So I don't want to read it. I want to be surprised. I just want to enjoy it. So,
and we head into the Friday Comics Newswire now, and to start us off today, we have, well, as a reminder, we are looking for anchors, reporters, editors, artists, and anyone else who will help us bring the industry news to the people who are willing to watch it. This is from our friend Luke Stone, just a short way from the first stretch goal. Help make part 2 get produced faster. And with that, let's play some Bean footage. Now, if I was smart, I would have had this loaded to show the new feature, but no, intelligence doesn't run in my brain.
A group of heroes supercharged with Nephilim DNA are the only thing standing in the way of an evil corporation at the center of a human trafficking ring and elite drug empire. The danger ramps up when a deadly trap is set for our protagonist. It's an epic clash of good versus evil when they meet on the killing field. Be sure to check out the action and get part 1 of the killing field during this 28-day event exclusively on Indiegogo.
Only on Indiegogo.
Is that Luke?
Yeah, that's Luke.
Is that Luke saying that? Is that narrating it?
Yeah.
Man, he knows how to sell a comic book, don't he?
Yeah, and we have to have a face-off. He won the last time we were in the same place, but mind you, I didn't have a voice, so he had a chance.
Oh.
The next time we go to a show together, I'll outsell his comics, let alone my own.
We're gonna need somebody there to film it, so we can.
They'll be
right here on Weekend or COMiX News Brunch or COMiX Breakfast Brunch.
I don't have a big ego, but I'm competitive as shit. Like, I really am competitive. I'll outsell his book just to say I'm a better salesman.
That's right.
I'll teach you. I'll move your product better than you can.
I don't have a scrap of ego, but I'm awesome.
That's right. It's not ego. It's cocky. I live by the words. It's not cocky if you back it up.
It's not cocky if it's true, right?
You know.
Hold on a second. Let me take my arm off so I can pat my own back.
And we already did Oswald. He was just doing this. So. This actually made a headline of the week, so I'll take it. MC. Ooh, wait a minute. Why has that got the completely wrong topper to it? We're gonna have to fix that in our newsroom. Something clearly went wrong here. It's supposed to say Scott Snyder teases his DC Comics return. And this is pretty big news because Snyder is behind death metal. Every time he touches a project, it has been awesome for DC. So I am excited to see what he does next. And we're actually going to quickly open this up because it said it on top. Scott Snyder teases his DC comic return. While Scott Snyder is focusing on creator-owned titles for 2021, the writer hinted at a big return coming at the end of the year. Scott Snyder, he's one of those guys who is an innovator. He's changed the industry. I can't wait for this. I don't know about you, C, but he's always, to me, been a great creator for comics.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that he had left DC Comics.
It's not that he left. It's not that he left. He ended the metal.
Okay.
So he didn't have an immediate project to turn into because they were doing this new thing that DC it gave him a little time off. And during his time off, to credit to him, he probably worked on all of his indie stuff. If you don't know, Scott Snyder has a huge library of indie creations that are pretty good, including a witch story that is very well known. And I actually own it. He's a great creator. He is literally one of those guys that our generation will talk about as we get older.
This is a Scott Snyder, and if you know the new, what is it, the White Prince with the Joker by Sean Murphy.
White Knight.
White Knight. That's what I meant. Yeah. And this was a book that they put out. This is through Vertigo, which is a DC imprint, but it's a Scott Snyder and Sean Murphy, and it's dealing with kind of like a deep haunted, deep ocean haunted kind of story. So it's pretty cool. I didn't even know it existed. I was in a bookstore one time, saw it, said, "Hey, I know them people," and I picked it up. And I was it's not often that I'm disappointed with Scott Snyder, if at all. I might never be disappointed with him, to be honest with you. So.
Well, he did do Bat Bunny, but it turns out that was never his call. That was corporate deciding.
Sometimes you got to pay the dues. That's just what it is.
And look what he did. And he did. To his credit, I didn't like how it looked, but the stories were good. And it wasn't even the artist's fault. I just didn't like the concept of it. But it did. I mean, like you said, he kept his mouth shut. He didn't complain about it. He didn't whine about it. He went out there. He did what they told him to do. And look what he did with metal. And we're even going to talk about metal in a few minutes. Oh, you guys are going to be impressed with what's coming. So let's get.
Does it have something to do with metal?
Yeah. All right, we already saw that. Here we go. This is something new.
Am I taking this one?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so this is Bowl for Kids' Sake fundraising event goes virtual with comic book theme. The 38th annual Bowl for Kids' Sake will launch February 5th and feature a comic book theme. What could that be about? Go to krcrtv.com. That sounds like a local television station. Big Brothers, Big Sisters of the North Coast announced this year's Bowl for Kids' Sake. And a weekly fundraising event. Head over there, krcrtv.com.
All right. You're up.
All right. Look, with our good friend Vera Sam. Did you know Catch the Crazies is the story of podcast hosts Sam and Jorge of Catch the Crazy as indie comic creators turned podcaster? You can see more with Jorge Medina.
At the COMiX Newswire.
Now,
We'll open it up. We'll open it for some reason. It's still going. If
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
Yeah,
with
he
that.
has a Kickstarter. Let's see. Here we go.
For some reason, that got cut off. Yeah, so there we go.
All right. So this is about indie comic creators turned podcasters who made a wish they will soon regret. With 8 days left, there is still time to become a member of the Craze. Support your story and pledge today on Kickstarter, and that's Catch the Crazies. Of course, check it out on Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
And I think we covered something similar to this, but this is different.
We got that one.
Yeah.
Should
Is
we
it?
read it again?
It's for the Illusion Witch. It's just great art. And
Yes, it
like we
is.
said before, that when it comes to these projects, we try to put them out in the Newswire every day when they have something new. But for the news program, it's like beating a dead horse if it's the same art, but just in a different group. And that's what happened here. It was two different groups that they were featured in. So,
Yeah.
but we still want to show. You can read it if you guys want. Go for it.
It's curious because they liken the Life of Pi and Lord of the Rings. Now, I never saw the Life of Pi, but I'm curious. Is this like Frodo in a boat with a tiger? That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking about. But it looks really cool. I'm interested to see.
I love the artwork. I mean, if anything, I'm seeing more like a maybe Secret of Nim with some of the critters that are in there in these images. But okay.
He really pulls it in with that last statement. When a famous illusionist must save a world that is not her own, she must face her past to save the future. That's a good line. I think it really pulls you in. It's a good pitch. Well done, Ruben Romero. Well done.
Absolutely. And we're rolling. All right. So this is a little smaller. There's this video out there that cheddar.com is covering about this team of, I guess, documentarian. What do they call them?
Yeah, documentarian works. Yeah.
Yeah. Where they went out to different stores and talked about the relevance of it. A lot of it was taped pre, 2020. So you're gonna see things that are gonna be like, why would they be so close together? Where are their masks? Because it's weird, right? You guys watch things now and you're like, why are all those people in New York not wearing masks now? Like whenever you watch an older video, we're so like, wear your mask, take your vaccine.
What's interesting is he's really trying to show you in that documentary how important comic book stores are. We have a tendency to take that for granted. And of course, this is a documentary that's streaming on Curiosity Stream, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a quick look, see if it says. Because there's not a lot to this.
All I saw was the video.
Yeah.
I don't think it really gave much to as far as
Curiosity.
Yeah, Curiosity Stream. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, check it out. I mean, even this little video is kind of interesting. I smell comics when I watch videos like that.
But it really is getting into the culture and the safe space that comic book shops create for people in the genre, into the business or the thing with the thing. That could be president.
The thing.
All right.
Is this me or you?
I'll take it, I guess.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves' comic Berserker #1 sells over 600 copies. from what I've read about this is kind of like John Wick in the past, huh?
I have
Kind
no
of
idea.
From what I understand, he looks like Keanu Reeves and he kicks ass. That's what I get.
Well, Mr. Announcer Voice, is Keanu in the house or no?
Okay.
No?
Oh, sorry, Jackson.
This is what happens if Keanu Reeves had taken the red pill.
Oh. No, I was just wondering if we had Keanu in the house, because I know that he loves comics.
Yeah, but no, we're not playing that clip just today because one of the clips that we do want to play is actually this one instead. But Jax is homesick because he got hurt at school. He was asking me something, so apologies for missing the cue. But here it is. But to answer your question, this is a funny story going around. This is a rumor, but it's a cool one. Remember what Lanning just said about the pill?
Yeah.
What if he took the other pill and he was John Wick? That would all make sense for Morpheus being in there, wouldn't it?
Interesting.
I never watched them.
And away we go.
Morpheus is in it? What?
I didn't know someone could get canceled twice in one show, but it just happened. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves, and I'm excited to introduce you to Berserker, a new comic book epic that kicks off in comic stores everywhere. It's a dream come true for me to create Berserker and collaborate with legends in the industry like writer Matt Kent, artist Ron Garney, color artist Bill Crabtree, letterer Clem Robbins, and artist Raphael Grandpa, providing character designs and covers, along with the great folks at Boom Studios. Creating and co-writing Berserker is a thrill for me, as I've loved comics since I was a young kid, and they've been a significant influence on me artistically throughout my career. If you want to pre-order your copy, just contact your local comic shop, which you can find by visiting comicshoplocator.com, and let them know you want them to pull a copy of Berserker for you every month. That's all it takes to join us for this exciting 12-issue series about an immortal man cursed with power, forced into violence, and searching for meaning in a life consumed by chaos. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy it.
And for those wondering, well, how come you could play the Boom Studios thing? Time. We can play any clip we want to a certain amount of time from any show. It's over 90 seconds, you get in trouble. That just comes in under 90 seconds. So I am being mindful of that. It sucks, kids. We want to promote everything, but that's kind of cool. There's Keanu being awesome. Talking to you to go to your local comic book shop. Sales like these, as it's said over here, because there's a bit of an error where it came off. Here we go. Sales like these are an indicator of good things to come. Our industry is showing growth for the first time in a real tangible way with comics across the board. So very, very good stuff. And we talked about Bradley's stuff, but this is just a different image, I believe. We didn't see that same image on the other screen. Some of this is rehashing because they got released on late Wednesday and then they did it in another group. Because we're adding a group next week, starting next week, as a matter of fact. Comics and More will be joining our news rotation, so we can bring you even more news. Gamal Hennessy is up.
Okay, I'll take that. Kamal Hennessy, a friend of mine at PRH, thought my network might be interested in this. Penguin Random House Publisher Services is seeking a managing editor. The position is perfect for a star project manager in any field looking to grow in the publishing industry and gain a tip-to-tail understanding of the editorial and production process from manga graphic novels. And that is from Kamal Hennessy. I'm trying to. What is his full website? Do you remember that off the top of your head?
The Creative. No, the Creative. She's talking about the Creative. I had it, and then C said something. The Creative Counseling Services, I believe, .com. And what Lanning's talking about. Go ahead.
Oh, the Global COMiX. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what he's with the
Digital.
Yeah, the digital comics. I wanted to say streaming comics. No, they stream comics. You sit
It
there,
sort of
and
is.
they throw comics in front of you.
It's like Netflix for comics, you know. You streaming is when you're moving the thing. It just streams very slow.
There
Well,
you go. I like that.
So, I mean, regardless, follow Gamal Hennessy and the business of comic books.
It would help if you like manga, though.
Yeah, but he does a lot more than that.
Well, no, but he was talking as far as the.
Yes.
Oh yeah. No, I was
Yeah.
talking about the post.
Squeaky dog. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
All right, and the movie is finished. Praises for WB or Warner Brothers for being creatively amazing and allowing James Gunn to complete the movie without interfering. The Suicide Squad director James Gunn confirms. The Suicide Squad director has confirmed that his upcoming movie sequel reboot is fully finished. That's good to know. Check it out on comicbookmovie.com. And of course, he says he had complete creative control over the film. So if it fails, we know who to blame.
I had actually mentioned that. While not released, so we cannot judge the content, it is always good to hear a company giving the creators control of their work. So, like you said, if it screws up, it's him. But there have been a lot of times when companies have come in and ruined comic book movies because you get 60 to 70-year-olds making decisions based on popcorn theories that no longer sell movies.
Right. Well, what's interesting about James Gunn, I can't say I've seen anything I wouldn't say horrifying, because I did see him direct something about a cartoon cat pissing on somebody recently. But I don't normally see anything from James Gunn that I dislike. So,
yeah. And this is last week's headlines. And of course, this is from the last week that we're ending right now. So by the time a lot of you guys watch this, we're already in the new week because we get viewership into the next week. So this week we took a look at the videos. We had the CNW special Terraformed Continuum. We also had the news for Wednesday, which was very light. So we mixed in the top headlines, and some of the things were moved to Thursday. Remember I said at the beginning, some of the things were from Wednesday to Thursday. Cycles are 2 to 3 days. That's why some things doubled up. It was a slow news week, actually. A lot more people talking about theories than actually giving us the news. So that's why we've had the ability to have our own conjecture this morning a lot more than we normally do. CBS had, that's the comic book school, by the way, an 8-page challenge. The second kickoff. I both of you should be taking part in this. I think.
Oh, I intend to. I watched this video and I was taking notes, and I can't remember the theme off the top of my head because I've got a lot of stuff on my desk. But Rob, give us a highlight.
Well, I do want you to watch the video and go to the site Comic Book School. The theme has to do. There's a general theme, and I want you to go check the site. That's what I'm telling you. But you get to do whatever you want with the theme. It's not a huge parameter thing. But I do want you to go to comicbookschool.com right now, especially if you're a creator, and sign up. So be part of the Comic Book School Challenge and answer the challenge in 21. And then we talked about the importance of the Comic Book Advocate's brand new virtual floor and all the things it does. You guys mentioned local comic book shops. We started a directory for that. We are trying to horse this is water. That's all I can say. We can't do anything more but get you to where you want to be or have to be if you're not putting the effort in, right?
And I really love the format that you did on that, as far as the different tables and the sections and stuff.
I think it works out. So here is the highlights from the week. By the way, we said we were going to start doing this. So this week we unveiled the comic book shop directory. We had our Sunday Comics brunch where we talked about marketing on an indie budget. That was a really interesting show. Mm-hmm. Not our normal feel to it, but it was interesting towards the end. We had Keanu Reeves promoting local comic book shops. The X-Men let the actual fans get a vote. Then on Monday, we debuted the Monday Into Know show. I don't know if this will continue or not. I'm feeling it out. It's the week ended, we all get together and we talk. On those shows, it's a lot more factual. I don't give a lot of insight. I read the headlines and give them to you. The Tuesday show felt very long of just me talking at a screen. So that's why I'm trying the Monday Into Know. So the weekend could be heavy. There can be a lot from a weekend. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if that continues or not. I mean, with
you consider it a pilot.
Yeah, with the con season, it might be hard to do the Monday. So that's why we're also trying to get other creators involved. So if we're traveling, there's someone else who has to do it. So I'll be honest, nothing but love to all of you guys, but my cons come first. So I'm not going to not do a con so I can do a news program. You'll just have to wait till Tuesday that week if we're still doing Indie No. We had the last talk crowdfunds and let's talk crowdfunds and comics. I was like, why would she say last talk? Was she killing the guests? Speak to me, you son of a bitch.
I do write horror and stuff.
I know.
So.
I was like, she's killing guests.
You know what? I bet you she would get tons and tons of subscriptions and viewers for that too.
And it's literally he gets voted.
It's not a snuff film, folks. It's not a snuff film.
And Meredith is messed up.
Have a big old one of the wheels that you turn.
Meredith's one of those people who the person who got the most votes is the one that gets killed on the show. You thought you were going to survive, you son of a bitch. You die for the pop.
The mountain, boom, dead.
Anyone in
We're a
charge.
shock program. We kill those you want to.
We had some great guests. We had some great guests on there.
The Continuum is being born next Sunday, live on the COMiX, Sunday COMiX brunch. We're going to be launching it. It's going to be awesome. So much more coming. This Sunday, we're going to make a huge announcement. Huge name. Someone who's done it all. Cannot wait to tell you who's joining us in the Continuum. And then Monday on Indie No, we'll give you the last story. So that's all coming out. Raheel Mohsin, the actual artist behind Cat Dad and Supermom, showing you some of his other things. I love Raheel because he has the ability to switch styles, something a lot of artists lack. He can go to different gears. He is an artist you want to follow. And this is Swipes from Stages, WIP from, what is WIP? I forgot what it stands for.
Work in progress.
Thank you. Work in progress from our Shadows and Play things, written and lettered by Eddie Headington for a secret monster anthology. Oh my. Reminds me that Godzilla is coming. And here's where I said, Raheel Mohsin always amazes with his range as an artist and constant need to improve his skills by learning new techniques. It's great to watch an inspired creator. And speaking of an inspired creator, Shepard launched Black Caravan for Scout Comics, as they are now in comic book shops of this week, and a brand new imprint was born. I don't know what causes an imprint to be born, because it's comics. It's certainly not a bell ringing. It's probably a comic book fan, a real fan, who you see at a show finally taking a shower, and an imprint is born.
Well, I did see something from him that celebrates, his book being distributed nationwide. So, I mean,
yeah, that's the new Black Caravan imprint. It hit stores this Wednesday during New Comic Book Day.
Was the Black Electric, the Electric Black wasn't part of the Caravan?
I know they're staying on Scout, as far as I'm aware.
Okay,
their main title book.
Sure?
And no, I'm not 100% because this is new. I know they started in Scout, so I would not be surprised to see them pushed into Black Caravan. But I know that Shepard was the flagship for starting Black Caravan, if that makes sense. Yeah. That was their first announced title.
I got it over there somewhere. I'm not going to go looking for it right now. I got to
you might be right that is coming soon. Absolutely.
Well, I know the reason I said this because I know I picked up the Electric Black in the store about a month or so ago.
And it said Black Caravan. I would make sense to drop them in.
I think it did, but I'm not positive.
It would make sense to put them in there, but if they did, that was a reshuffling because they came out through Scout.
But sometimes this stuff, sometimes this stuff gets confused because I follow Joseph. I can't spell Schmalke, who does the art for Electric Black, and I can't remember if I saw him say something about it or not. So
I saw him do a video recently where he talked about Black Caravan, but I think that's a new project they have that's coming out through Black Caravan. But it's going to be Electric Black, but I think it's Electric Black something else, like a subtitle. And I think that's going to. I do.
That might be what it is. That might be what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Here it is. I told you we were going to be metal today. Ozzy Osbourne, Megadeth, and more get Dark Knight death metal band editions. They're oh.
Can we pull that up? Can we see who they have with it? I saw the. Huh? Yeah.
I think we can, because this is straight from DCComics.com. They're going to love us giving some love to this. I know there's a show out there, but before there was a show, I used to say this all the time, and I'll say it even after the show's gone. No offense. I had a geekgasm over this one. My fandom exploded.
Wow. Wow.
Check this out. This is some awesome stuff. I was so excited. We got to cover this, I think it was on Tuesday during our Market Watch. Check out those covers that they did. And it actually made me look at some new metal bands, believe it or not.
Here's the thing, I mean, we saw it with Keanu Reeves, who brought so many new people to Kickstarter. Now you're seeing bands, metal, like this metal band version.
That's always been there, really.
That's not new.
But here's the thing. It's like it's becoming more mainstream. More news channels are talking about us.
No, that's true. All that's true. But metal bands have always been gracious.
Go look for Psycho Circus. Oh my gosh.
Those inroads to grabbing people's attention and going, oh, hey, by the way, did you know Ozzy Osbourne is going to be featured in the, so it's
this is just a cover. This is just I want to be clear about that. These are just covers.
Right. But my point is that it's driving people to see what this is all about. And again, with more mainstream news talking about it, you have like Screen Rant talking about comic books. I mean, when did that happen? So it's really kind of cool.
I do know, by the way, like I know 2020 happened in there's this research. We're not going to get very political and we're not going to get very news oriented. But I found out what caused that virus that caused the whole big problem. They have traced it back to when Ozzy teamed up with the Malone guy, and tweens and young girls said, who's this Ozzy Osbourne guy? He's brand new. That made a bat literally make a virus to kill everybody.
Because the bats got scared Ozzy was coming back. That's what that was.
That is starting to
If we have diseases, he won't bite our heads off. That's what they thought.
Oh my gosh.
So I blame all those Matchstick whatever his name is. The guy
Matchstick Malone. I like it. That's like an old
was it Ozzy or was it Gwar first with all the blood and stuff?
Oh, it was definitely Ozzy. Oh, Ozzy was biting the heads off of things back in the 70s before it was cool. Anyone after that is just trying.
He was actually banned from Baton Rouge to ever perform. I think we finally lifted about 10 years ago because he bit the head off of something here.
A bat?
No, it wasn't a bat. I think it was like a bird or something like that. Yeah, it might have been a pigeon. The bat thing, he said he didn't think was real.
Yeah, he didn't. I remember that. He had to get rabies shots. He had to get rabies.
But this is also the guy that snorted a lot of ants because it looked like cocaine. So,
and he's still alive. He's still alive. I check every week, and I'm like, I think that the coronas don't want to go near him. They're like, no, thank you.
Have you ever seen that Simpsons episode where they check out Mr. Burns and he's got all these diseases, and it's like all the diseases they're trying to get through the door, but they're stopping each other from getting through the door, and Burns is like, oh, so I'm immortal. No, we're saying any second this could happen to you. Immortality. And he's walking but all the diseases are trying. That's what's with Ozzy Osbourne. He's got all these things trying to work their way to kill him. Nobody can decide. Nothing can decide what to kill first.
He fell off an ATV, smacked a tree. A normal person would have broken in half. He had to have shoulder surgery. All right, that's Ozzy. He's like, oh man, fucking tree.
What even major shoulder surgery?
Superman falls off a horse, crippled for the rest of his life. Ozzy Osbourne flies into a tree. He stands up and goes, oh man, that sucks. Takes it off. I think I hurt my bum. That's it. This show goes off the rails all the time. You guys know that. The end of the show.
Being on the rails is overrated.
Yeah.
And Women History Month in March will be celebrated by Marvel with these stylish new covers from Jen Bartel, right? Yeah, so definitely.
Bartel or Bartel, yeah.
So that's what, 80s style? Is that
is the 80s back? I can get my leg warmers. I can get my leg warmers out.
You have to look at it. I thought they were cool. I like the homage covers sometimes.
I don't mind. I'm just making fun.
And remember to get your copy of the Comic Book School Presents Creator Connection Panel 1. While the challenge for this year has been thrown, don't forget to go back and see how it all began with Panel 1 Anthology. It's a free comic book, 144 pages.
Yeah, very impressive.
And Backer Pause, we had some good feedback on Backer Pause. Definitely want to check that one out.
And Backer Pause is every Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Unless we have to reschedule for a guest. Sometimes we will, very rare, but like there are guests that, especially if they're international, 11 a.m. might not work for them. So we've done primetime versions. All right, so these are just some more of our headlines that we talked about today. We gave them all the headlines for Wednesday. Thursday's headlines was, let's see, the Continuum. Of course, that's big for us over at Terraform and for the news because it's building a creative library. We talked about this earlier, the mask, Marvel's Behind the Mask. And we talked about this amazing campaign they have. Please help out if you can. I'm not an artist, so I can't be part of this, but I can share it, and that's what I'm doing together. And creators come together for a good cause, always something worth paying attention to. I know the Super Bowl is this Sunday, but before you do that, watch the official trailer for Behind the Mask in our video and stream section. We'll have today's video up as well. And then the movie is finally done. I like this because of the creative control they gave Gunn. And remember, Gunn got into trouble 2 years ago, and I said he'll be back. Because he turned around and he handled it right. He was the first dude who said, look, I already apologized for doing that. I'm not going to go down the road again. I know I was wrong. I said I was wrong. They knew I was wrong. I understand why they're firing me. I can't change the past. I'm only looking for the future. And in that moment, the cancel culture was never the same again. Because for the first time someone stood up and went, no, bullshit, I grew. That's the point of life is you grow. It's still there, see, but it's not as what it once was. Like the minute someone tries to
I'm just saying I don't think it was him. There was other people who said no.
Oh, who? Because he was
Doug TenNapel. They tried to cancel Doug TenNapel left and right, and his book still crests hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Okay, but that was a local fan. I don't think that ever made national news. This was the first national news one I was talking about. Because even Kevin Hart turned around in his special and said he should have told them to go fuck themselves. That should have been his response.
You can't
Remember he got in trouble at the Academy Awards because he said, and everyone missed the joke. The joke was about if I find out that my kid keeps playing with dolls, I'm going to break a dollhouse over his head. The joke was, why would he have a dollhouse if Kevin Hart felt that way? And everyone missed the joke. And instead of saying, hey, I can't help you because you missed the joke, that wasn't being that way. He tried to apologize because a PR firm told him to apologize and it would go away, and it didn't. And he just quit he was like, forget this, I'm not doing it. And he's still doing fine now. But
Dave Chappelle. Hey, Dave Chappelle. They tried so many times to come at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle don't care.
Yeah.
He just don't care.
I don't watch any of them, so
I think they're hilarious, and I love comedians. I miss George Carlin.
Not the comedians, the shows. I don't either. The
guy running the award show, which is coming to you in just 2 weeks.
I know the guy running the.
That's why my award shows are different. That's why my award shows are different, because I don't watch award shows, and I'm not trying to give out Circle Jerk awards. Keanu Reeves, Berserker outsells. We talked about that today. 10 times. Oh, this was that weird link that got messed up. See, even my site was like, no, it's wrong. MCU should not be with our good friend Scott. So that's it, guys. Check out the Comics Newswire and the madness. Convention scene for more, and the Indie Comics Connector. We'll be adding one to next week, and always check out our feed. This has been your week. It's ended. Welcome to Friday. Go out and do dumb shit. And don't post about it on Facebook. Remember, some things should stay private. The stuff you do from Friday night to Sunday should never make social media if it's at night. During the day, share away.
And Sunday Comics Brunch this Sunday, obviously, at 11 a.m. Make sure that you tune in for that.
And if you guys are okay, we're just going to end it. Say your goodbyes.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I meant where you're from.
No, you know where I'm from. I'm right here. I said it. You can find me here. I'm on Facebook, stuff like that, That.
Well, I'm going to pitch Linktree. Linktree.com/MEREJ99. That is where you can find all of my links. You will see the updates for my Kickstarter that ended. You will see the links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Geek Insider, Wildwood Forever, Terraform Comics. It's all there. Linktree.com/MEREJ99.
Now, let me ask you real quick, Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get stock in Linktree?
I did not. But when I found it and I realized that there were some pretty big names using it, I was like, oh, I'd be foolish not to.
You know what? But see, with all the stock market stuff, you need to. I think it's going to work out for you.
You know what? They have a free service. So, I mean, I use that. So I haven't paid
no.
for it. So there is that.
All right, kids. This is the new feature I talked to you about. I figured I'd actually use it to end the show.
Yes, do show. Show
So
and tell.
new tech. This is actually live in the studio. You can fast forward, you can pause, you can even change the volume. This is how we're going out to this week.
Well, before you hit the button, now, how is this directly from your hard drive, or is this something that you had to upload to the studio?
You can't tell the difference in the look of it. I'm actually asking that.
No, I'm asking because I know the answer, but the audience might not.
No, that's what I'm asking. It doesn't look. I'm asking you from an outsider point of view. Like, does this not look different?
It does look different because I'm seeing a play button. I'm seeing a volume button.
Okay, so you can see the play button. That's what I was curious about because I've never been on the. Can you see the play button, Landon?
No, I cannot.
That's what I'm looking for, Meredith.
Oh.
So this must be a control that we.
I see a black screen. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah. See, we see the play button, a volume button that you guys might not be seeing. That's why I was asking Lanning.
Yeah, I might have to give Lanning the tools to get in here.
Yeah, so he can play videos and stuff. But yeah, this
Lanning needs to get a freaking mouse. That's what he needs to do.
So see, this plays. We can talk over it. I have control of the volume. We can go faster. We can go backwards. The only thing that so far is glitchy is the fact that once you play it and take it off the main screen, it doesn't come back up the right way. But it does play for my hard drive for the question. You guys can't see it, but there's a literal thing that I can turn the volume up and down. And it's not like when you watch those YouTube videos on StreamYard or videos, it gets that nastiness if it's over 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So now we can do this. And there we go. And pretty awesome, right? So that's StreamYard. If you're using StreamYard, new toys. I've given it to you. You've gotten the news of the week. Thank you for the anchors today. We're out of here. We'll see you Sunday at 11 for the Sunday Comics Brunch.